Hey, welcome back. And today we're talking about the capital countdown, how to achieve your 12-month real estate goals. All right, when it comes to real estate investing or pretty much anything else in life, if you've got a solid target to shoot for, your chances of success rise exponentially. Definitely true when it comes to raising capital. So in today's video, we're going to show you exactly how to crunch the numbers to create your 12-month capital goals. This is definitely fun with math. Stay tuned. All right, so when it comes to raising capital and having clear goals, by having a set path that you're following, a set end point that you're going for, your chances of hitting that rise much, much higher than if you're just kind of doing it all loosey-goosey. So we're going to walk through the process I go through with my clients to help them laser target in their goals for capital raising for the next 12 months. All right, so the first step in the whole process is to really define what is your portfolio target over the next 12 months. So where are you starting from now? Where do you want to get to in 12 months? And here's a big tip. Most of us completely overestimate what we can do in the next year, but we completely underestimate what we can do in the next 5 or 10 years. So usually I have to kind of help people get realistic expectations and set realistic goals about their targets. So for example, if you've got 2 or 3 deals under your belt so far and you want to, and that's taken you 2 years to get there, and now you want to scale and you want to do 20 deals in the next 12 months, well, that's quite a bit of a stretch. You're going from 2 to 20 in a very short period of time. It'd be probably much better for you to kind of scale back your goals a little bit and shoot for maybe doing 6 or 7 or 8 deals in the next 12 months instead of that huge stretch goal. And I know I've seen all the goal setting stuff. Set a goal that, shoot for the stars, and the worst case scenario, you hit the moon. Yeah. But you know what? It's really kind of demotivating to not come anywhere near your goal. I do agree, yeah, you want to have stretch goals, but have some realistic goals in there as well. So maybe, maybe have a goal that's like, if you completely hit it out of the park, it would be this. Have your more realistic goal that, if that happened, you'd be super happy. And maybe have your kind of bottom level goal that, you know what, if you hit that one, it would still be okay. Wouldn't be as great as you wanted it to be, but you'd be making progress further. So if you have realistic goals, again, the likelihood of hitting those is much, much higher. So for example, let's say that you are doing single family home BRRRR type deals, and you've got a couple that you've finished over the last year or two. You want to scale forward, and let's say you're setting your goal for 4 deals in the next 12 months. Well, that is a good, solid, realistic, achievable goal for you to go for. So I would say, yeah, let's use that as an example for this video. Okay, so once we've determined that we want to go for those 4 deals in the next 12 months, next thing we need to do is kind of figure out, okay, what is the average price point for the kind of properties that we're looking to buy in the market area that we're looking to invest in. So again, let's just say for easy numbers, we're looking at simple BRRRRs or simple single family home type deals, and they are $400,000 each on average. So again, some might be $350,000, some might be $450,000, but if we average them all out, just for big rounds, even numbers, let's say it's $400,000 per deal. So we're keeping it pretty simple. 4 deals, $400,000 per deal, that's what's required. Next thing we want to take a look at is, okay, if the average deal is $400,000, how much non-bank financing, how much non-bank money or capital do we need to do this kind of a deal? So again, I'm just keeping the numbers very, very simple here. So let's say we've got that target. We want to buy the 4 properties. Each property costs $400,000, and we need an average of about 25% for down payment and renovation costs. Not very big BRRRRs, I understand that, but let's keep the numbers simple. So we need $100,000 per property to do those kind of deals on average. So now we extrapolate that, $100,000 per property, 4 properties, we need to raise $400,000 to do these kind of deals. All right, so then that begs the question, okay, how many investors do we need to reach this goal? And big challenge I see with a lot of newer capital raisers is they figure they want to bring on anybody and everybody who's got some money. So they put their minimum investment too low in order to try and encourage as many people as possible to invest with them. So they say, you know what, Dave, if I need to raise $100,000 for a deal, my minimum investment is going to be $20,000 so that, pretty much anybody with a little bit of money can get involved. I'm going to recommend that you back away from that. And my experience has been the fewer cooks in the kitchen, the fewer people involved, the better. So if this were the case for me and I needed to raise $100,000 per deal, I would do my best to just have one joint venture partner per deal. That person brings in the $100,000, perhaps even get qualified for financing, and we do the deal together. So one person per deal. So in this case, the minimum investment would be $100,000. Now you might be saying, well, Dave, that's way too high, that's way too much. Maybe so, maybe no, but here's been my experience over the last many, many years and working with hundreds of private clients one-on-one. If you bring people on with too small of an investment, typically those people are the biggest pain in the butt to work with, right? Because that $20,000 they're bringing to the table, that's all the money they have in the world. Whereas if you bring on investors with $100,000, chances are that's not all the money they have in the world. And counterintuitively, they are a lot easier and more pleasant to work with, even though they're bringing more money to the table, all right? So you can go the other way if you want to, but I recommend going for a higher minimum. Focus on having fewer investors per deal. It just simplifies your life. All right, so let's assume that you agree with me on that. So your minimum investment per investor is $100,000. We need to raise $400,000 to do the 4 deals over the next 12 months. That would mean we need 4 investor partners with $100,000 each. Does that make sense? So now we're getting clarity on our goals. So we want to bring on 4 properties over the next 12 months. To do that, we need to raise $400,000. Our minimum investment is $100,000 per investor. That means that over the next 12 months, we need to bring on 4 investors or joint venture partners to reach our goals. So you see where I'm going here with creating this clarity and these specific goals? Because the more specific we are about this, the higher the likelihood we're going to have of actually reaching those goals. Now, here's a couple of rules of thumb for you when it comes to how many investors do you need to have on board. So we say 4 investors. I would say shoot for having 6 or 7 people kind of lined up with those expressions of interest signed off on, because not everybody who says they're interested is actually going to end up investing with you. So the last thing I want to see happen to you is that you're completely reliant on 1 or 2 people and they flake out on you and you lose a deal. So always have more investors and more capital lined up than you actually need. So when the time comes and the rubber hits the road, you can be confident that you've got the money that you need when you need it. All right? Ask me how I learned that the hard way. Now, the other big benefit about setting these kind of goals is that when you've got this target to shoot for, quite often you'll find that because you've got that laser focus, you actually reach your goal far faster than you thought you would. So instead of this being a 12-month goal, perhaps you reach that much, much faster. Here's a great example. One of our clients, Matt Prychun, we started working with him, and his 12-month goal was to raise $1 million in private capital to do his deals. And he was doing a couple of different strategies, but basically a small multifamily type properties is what he was really focusing on. And we did this whole process with him, and within the first 6 weeks, he had $1 million worth of capital spoken for, right? He had people signed off on expressions of interest for over $1 million, and he said, hey, I'm going to have to revisit these goals. It turns out that raising this capital is not as tough as I thought it was going to be, and he raised his goals. So now his new goal was to raise, I believe, $3 or $4 million in his first year, and I think he accomplished that as well. So again, having that target to shoot for gets you rolling, gets you going, and who knows, you might even hit it way faster than you thought you would. Now, speaking of goals, if you're looking for a proven path to reaching your capital raising goals, then I've got the perfect thing for you. It's my book, Money Partner Formula. Go ahead, visit investorattractionbook.com. Get your free copy today. This is going to show you, just like I did with Matt, how to raise 6 figures in a matter of weeks and even 7 figures in a matter of months by attracting investors to you. We'll even go over exactly how to set those goals for yourself as well. So grab your copy today.